Ganda nitong interview na ito. Itong si Guanzon ay hardcore pinklawan ito. Hindi to dilawan, pinklawan. Anti-Marcos to, oo. Anti-Marcos to, consistent na anti-Marcos ito. Kasi nga, wala naman talagang ginawa mabuti ang mga Marcos. Ngayon yung pagkakataon, ngayon yung tamang panahon para si Bongbong Marcos ay ayusin niya sana yung pangit na naging pangalan ng pamilya nila. It turned out, mas demonyo pa pala ang animal na yan. Sa bagay nga naman, sabi ko nga si Marcos Sr., Marcos lang. Pero ito si Bongbong, dalawang dugo ng magnanakaw yung pinaghalo mo. Dugong magnanakaw ng mga Romualdez at saka mga Marcos. Kaya ayan ang lumabas. Isang demonyo, satanas pa. Saan ka makakita ng demonyo ka na tapos Judas ka pa? Pinagsama mo yung dalawang lahi na yan, ayan ang lumabas si Bongbong Marcos. So, binigyan ng pagkakataon itong si Bongbong para ayusin, pero hindi, lalong ginulo. At ngayon mga bossing, hindi na siya makakawala mula sa scrutiny ng mga Pilipino. Kaliwat kanan na yung mga yung mga demonstrasyon. At kung makikita niyo yung mainstream media, ang tinututukan lang nila ng mga rally, yung mga rally anti-Duterte. Anti-corruption na anti-Duterte. Wala silang mga rally ng mga pro-Duterte anti-corruption na pinipresenta sa kanilang mga mainstream media channel. Ang pinapakita nila lahat, puros yung mga makakaliwa, yung mga rally ng mga progresibo. Yun ang ipinakikita nila. Bakit? Kasi gusto nila na sa panahon na ito, ang maging bida yung mga progresibo. Kasi nga kasapakat itong mainstream media na ito, again itong mga progresibong grupo na ito ay nakipagkasundo na sa gobyerno. Kaya nga ang nagpapatakbo na sa bayan natin Pilipinas, hindi na talaga gobyerno ng Pilipinas, komunista. For the longest time, they want to run our country legitimately. Pero ngayon, hindi lang legitimate. Sila talaga yung nagdidikta ng gagawin ng gobyerno laban sa mga kalaban ng mga makakaliwa. And that being said, napakaganda nitong interview na ito because si Lucy Cruz Valdez, alam mo na mainstream media na alam mong talagang ang leaning niya ay anti-Duterte. Ito naman si Guanzon, anti-Marcos siya. Oo, hindi rin niya paborito ang mga Duterte, pero the best choice now are the Dutertes, hindi mga Marcos. At lalong-lalong hindi mga Romualdez. So nandoon si Guanzon. If only Leni Robredo at saka itong si Inday Sara ang maglalaban, kay Leni yan. 100% sure kay Leni yan. Pero sa panahon ngayon that Leni is nowhere to be found, na ang nandiyadyaan at ang lumalaban na lang sa katiwalian is mga Duterte, ang kalaban mga Marcos at Romualdez, tumatayo siya in favor sa mga Duterte. Because sabi nga nila, saan ka? Doon ka sa demonyo o doon sa mabuting tao? Napakaganda ng interview na to. Oo, napakaganda ng sagutan dito. Makikita mo, Lucy Cruz is trying to strong arm itong si dating COMELEC chairman, basta naging chairwoman din to sa COMELEC na si Guanzon. Panoorin natin itong makabuluhan niyang interview.
With Lucy. And we cannot be more real than you are.
Oh, thank you.
on your posts, no?
Oh.
Parang wala kang kinakatakutan, ha?
Wala talaga.
Saan ang galing yung tapang na yan?
Kasi wala naman akong nakaw eh. At saka I don't need anything from them, right?
Yeah.
As long as I don't need anything from powerful people, I will be honest. Di ba?
So what do you think drives them to be dishonest when they all start out, I would imagine, di ba, with great intentions, and hindi pa naman nagnanakaw sa umpisa, pero
Not all of them.
soon enough, eto na, umpisa na. What is it
Many of
about?
them really started with foul intentions because they're contractors, especially the party list representatives who are contractors, who were contractors.
Madami tayong matututunan dito. Yung evolution ng politika sa Pilipinas, how the cronies of Marcos changed yung landscape ng politika? Malalaman nyo dito. Ang galing nito.
Saldico was a contractor. That's how he started.
That's a bold
He
statement.
started from the party list. Well, he's still party list.
No, parang parang patay na. Pucha yan, parang sumalangit na wala, kulang na lang mga kalapati, ulap, tsaka lobong puti Oh.
He owns 2 that are in the
Yes.
15 list.
Right.
Sunwest
Yes.
and Tritone.
That's true.
That politics was for people, the families. We always had to accept that politics in the Philippines has always been
Dynastic.
and elitist, even in the locals, especially the locals. And I have to admit my family is also part of that. Okay, but we are politicians in the tradition of service and love of country. Why? Because we have our own professions, right? But we chose politics, right? Sila, they chose politics because they want to make money. All right?
Naiintindihan niyo yung magandang punto niya dito. There are 2 types of politicians. The politicians na mga professional na mas inuna nila yung pagiging professional and then they entered politics para tumulong sa bayang Pilipinas. At meron din na mga hindi na naging mga professional. Hindi na naging mga professional, pinasok na agad yung politika para saan? Personal na interes para yumaman at maging makapangyarihan. Dalawang klase daw 'yon. Ang ganda ng pagkaka-describe dito ni ni Guanzon Yung mga noong panahon kasi, if let's say I am a governor, most of my kids I will kumbaga send them to some boarding school in the Europe, in the US. Ko sila, pag-aaralin ko sila doon for them to become what? Professionals. For them to become kumbaga para magkaroon sila ng galing sa mga larangan na mapipili nila. Ganon yung mga magulang noon. And then pagbalik dito, syempre magpapasikat yan. Yung isa magtatayo ng kumpanya. Yung isa ganito, yung isa ganyan. Doon nila inaano yung mga magulang nila, ini-impress yung mga magulang nila. Ganon ang mga politiko noong araw. Ngayon, iba na ang mga politiko. Na if I am, let's say, a governor or let's say if I am a senator, hindi ko na kailangan dalhin yung anak ko sa mga Oxford, sa Stanford, sa Brixton. Hindi ko na sila dadalhin doon. Kasi i-groom ko na, isasama ko na lang sila araw-araw. At i-groom ko na lang sila na magiging mga politiko. Bakit? Kasi nga, sa Pilipinas, kapag politiko ka, nasa iyo lahat. Nasa iyo ang kapangyarihan, nasa iyo ang pera ng taong bayan, nasa iyo lahat. So nawawala yung talagang pagmamahal sa bayan. Kasi halimbawa ako, nag-aral ako sa ibang bansa, naging professional ako, nagtrabaho ako, naging corporate ako. And then I was really good at what I'm doing and I feel like yung expertise ko, may magagawa ako sa bayang Pilipinas. Bigyan mo ako ng posisyon sa gobyerno, doon sa expertise ko, magagawa ko yung maganda kong, yung napag-aralan ko. Ngayon hindi. Yung mga inilalagay sa gobyerno, putya yan, mga kamag-anak, mga inaanak, na wala naman talagang alam sa pagsisilbi sa bayan. At ni wala pang napapatunayan para sa mga sarili nila. Before, enable for you to impress your politician parents, you have to stand up on your own. You have to make a name for yourself. Pero ngayon, mga bossing, in order for you to earn the respect of your parents na mga politiko, you show them na SK chairman ka, tapos nagpa-project ka na, contractor ka, tapos nagpa-project ka, nakapasok ka sa gobyerno, ganun ini-impress yung mga magulang ngayon. Ang ganda nung pagkaka-describe dito ni ni Guanzon na wala na tayong magagandang breed ng mga politiko ngayon kasi nga tinan mo yung mga nepo babies. kung paano nila ipagyabang yung mga yaman nila na galing naman sa kaban ng bayan. Tapos sinasabi nila, wala kayong magagawa because someday, I will be what? I will be politician. I will replace my father as the senator, as a congressman in our district. So, bata pa lang sila, doon na nakatuon yung isip nila that magiging silang mga politiko someday. At itutuloy lang nila, ang nagiging legacy ng pamilya nila is ituloy lang yung mga pagiging politiko nila. Yon ang sumira sa political landscape ng Pilipinas. Paano nakabalik yung mga crony?
They don't train anymore their children to be scientists, doctors, lawyers, judges like our generation. They now train their children to be politicians after them. That's why these dynasties persist, because the laws on elections in the Philippines has a lot of leeway for political dynasties. So as long as you have political dynasties and you have vote buying and you have very weak anti-corruption laws and government processes, then you will have a weak democracy. Look at the Senate. Look at the Senate.
Okay.
3 senators switch, change in Senate presidency. Now, if these same 3 senators will switch, Alan Peter can be Senate president. If Alan Peter runs for Senate president, his sister Pia will side with him. The 2 Villars, who are their party mates, will side with them, and there's only Jinggoy left. Well, Jinggoy, he may not like, not Jinggoy, JV. He might not like Jinggoy, but they have the same father, you know. So it's not, I'm not saying that it's because we have weak political parties. That's even worse. Okay, I'm just saying that because our leaders, our elected officials, actually have their personal political interests first, then we will always have this problem. We will always have this problem. But this is worse, because now the congressmen who make our budget are the ones who looted our budget. This is worse than Ferdinand Marcos' time. In Ferdinand Marcos' time, only he looted the country.
Okay.
But in Romualdez' time and Bongbong Marcos' time, all their cronies were congressmen, just looted the country because of the 25 elections. You look at the budget for flood control, it's 240 billion in 2025. It started as 185 in 2023. They looted the budget, packed it with flood control projects that are very hard to trace, rock netting, etc. Ayuda. Why? Because there was election. And Romualdez wanted to be president. Well, sorry, you can't.
Okay. When do you think this family dynamic started? Kasi ikaw na rin nagsabi. Sabi mo dati,
I've been
isa
saying
lang
it for
ang
a
government official, ang mga anak ay mga professional na wala na yung value na yun. Kailan nag-shift na naging kumpanya na?
Sayang kasi,
Ang
in
pamilya.
1986, remember? I was an anti-Marcos, my family was anti-Marcos. I was a student activist. In 1986, when President Cory Aquino took over, it would have been a fresh start.
Yes.
Sana, right? But the laws on election laws did not change. The cronies were not prosecuted. So in 1988, we won the fresh crop, right?
Yes.
We won. There was no vote buying. Okay, because they were scared. They didn't know what to do, right? But in 1992, vote buying started again. So the Marcos cronies came back. Nakabalik sila starting 1992, etc., etc. And then these contractors who realized why will they fund the mayors and congressmen and senators, right? When they themselves can be congressmen. And that's how it happened. that when the party list system was in the Constitution, the new Constitution,
So it started as early as that.
they now hijacked the party list system. Because the COMELEC, I am so sorry to say, it's not stable in terms of making decisions. It flip-flops. No?
Like how?
Like-
Examples?
Before kami, hindi ka pwede multi-sectoral.
Yeah.
You apply as multi-sectoral party list, you have to have a sector that's marginalized. We have to stop the blame game and start, electing people na tamang mga tao in Congress. This lesson should not be forgotten by the Filipino people. Kasi, ito yung stage na delikado. Why? Because if you look at Asia, kulelat na ang Pilipinas. Now, you have three sources of funds. Your GDP, your tourism, and your OFWs. Tourism is kulelat. Kulelat to Vietnam. Kulelat na nga sa Cambodia. Diba? I mean, GDP. OFWs are holding the tripod.
Yes.
Okay? So, ang sinasabi ko, mas crucial ito ngayon kasi make or break. Make or break. You don't have reforms now. You don't kick out these corrupt congressmen and politicians. You don't start over, radically. Wala na.
So, do
The
you
next 3 years of BBM, how is he going to run this country? With what? With what? Utang?
No, but, well, okay. Sabi ng ibang pundits naman, eto na, kaya siya kumikilos. The reason why President Bongbong Marcos is doing what he's doing now is he is creating a legacy. It's his chance, and he wants this sincerely corrected. Do you think that he's on the right track as far as correcting what is obviously now talagang an entire ruin or destruction of major political institutions, i.e. Congress, di ba? And even now, executive, hawa siya ron eh.
Binigay lang sa atin ni BBM ang ulo ni Romualdez dahil pag hindi niya ginawa, hindi titigil ang protesta. Kahit isang araw lang na protesta, once a week, for example, yung One Taft Consortium ng mga kolehiyala sa Taft, Saints Co, St. Paul's, all these girls who don't even like sunlight, lumabas sila. Gawin nyo lang yan mga anak every week. UP, Ateneo, Katipunan, once a week, once a week, once a week. Well, we can do once a week. We might not be able to do every day, but we can all do once a week until BBM is done, right? So, what's his choice? Keep his cousin who has all his secrets, or keep his title? Of course, it's the political survival of BBM that he is after. No one after this. Mark my words, wala nang boboto sa Marcos sa 2020. Kawawa ka, Sandro. Ikaw sana ang political dynasty ng parents mo.
Wow.
Na sinira ni Romualdez ang dynasty mo dahil hindi ka iboboto ng tao. Hindi. Ba't ako boboto kay Sandro Marcos? Kung Marcos ang gusto ko, I might as well vote for my student, Ferdinand Marcos Manoto, who's a lawyer and I know has a good heart. Marami namang iba dyan. Pero wala nang boboto sa Marcos after this. Anong sinasabi ni BBM na legacy niya? When he ran with Sara Duterte, naloko niya mga tao, na mga Marcos royalists at mga nabudol na mga DDS dyan. Sinabi ko na sa inyo kasi kayo mga budol kayo. Sinabi ko na sa inyo, legacy.
Ang ganda nung sinabi dito ni Madam yung rally. Kasi it doesn't have to be sobrang dami. It doesn't have to be like one day and then bago na yung gobyerno, no. Before napalitan si Pangulong Marcos Sr., mahabang panahon yung ginugol noong mga nagpoprotesta. Hanggang sa enough is enough. Tara na, sama-sama na tayong lahat. Hanggang sa sumabog ng ganun katindi. So, ibig sabihin, pinagtatawanan nila yung ibang mga rallies na ang konti naman, na ibang mga rallies na iilan lang. Pero yung consistency, yung maiparamdam lang natin sa gobyerno na may mangilan-ngilan na lumabas na sa kanilang mga tahanan at maghapahayag ng sama ng loob, ibig sabihin meron na. Reality is, meron na. So, delikado kapag nag-progress yan, kapag naging consistent yan, and then kapag napikon na taong bayan, meron na silang pupuntahan. O, napakaganda nung sinasabi nito ni Madam na yung once a week, maganda na yan. Kasi nga, to keep them, para magkaroon ng reality check sa pamumuno nila na hindi na masaya taong bayan. And hindi man ganun karami, meron na mga dismayado. At kung magiging consistent ito, yung iba pang mga dismayado, sasama na. Palaki ng palaki ng palaki. Rome was not built in a week. Oo. Hindi yan na makukuha sa santong paspasan. Unti-unti, hanggang sa enough is enough. Mahiya ng mga yan, malay mo. Atakin sa puso mga yan, di ganda.
Legacy. Naniwala naman. Gustong ibalik na good name ng Ferdinand Marcos. Na i-reconstruct, i-revise ang history. Ganyan-ganyan. Anong magagawa niya in 3 years na ngayon lang siya nagising?
What should he have done during the first 3 years to have prevented this? I guess yun yung tanong, di ba?
Kung
Or
ako,
did he have it in his heart
Hindi
to
nga eh.
actually change it
Hindi
and to
ah.
really change the family reputation, restore the honor of the
sa akin,
Marcos
lang,
name?
pride na lang yun eh. Na Marcos uli. Kaya siya, babangon siya uli. Hindi tayo. Babangon siya uli. Hindi tayo ang babangon, yung mga tao. Yun eh. Hindi, it wasn't for the country. It wasn't because he wanted to restore his father's good name. No. He wanted to be president just because. Babangon sila uli. Conflict sila ngayon sa kapatid niya, di ba? Kay Amy. Kasi ang akala ni Amy talagang, we will reform, babalik ang Marcos na name na isatama natin, ganyan, ito na lang, last hurrah na natin to, matatanda na tayo, di ba? Matatanda. I'm as old as BBM. No, he looks older than me, but I was born the same year. Matanda na tayo eh. Ano pa kailangan natin? Pera? Power? Ilang helicopter ba ang gusto nyo? Ilang bahay ba dyan sa Forbes ang gusto mo, Romualdez? Tapos ngayon, hindi ka man lang makauwi dyan dahil saradong-sarado yung gate mo. Takot kayo na batuhin ng itlog at kamatis ang mga bahay nyo at kotse nyo. What's that for? From the start, kung sinabi nyo na, itong mga dilawan na to, itong mga kakamping na to, wala sinabi yan, puro lang yan promises. Sana, day one, ginawa niya na, I'll prove all of you wrong. Hindi ako addict. Babangon ako maaga araw-araw, and I'll face the people, I'll prove you wrong, hindi ako addict.
O hindi ba niya ginawa yan?
He was absent most of the time. Did you see BBM? Did you see BBM in the first year? Ngayon lang yan si BBM lumabas doon sa mga dam, sa mga ganyan-ganyan. And his people already told him, boss, hindi na talaga kaya, boss. Ghost project, ganyan-ganyan. Mabubuking na tayo, boss, kasi marami ng mga kumakalkal. Mga tao may mga video na ganyan-ganyan. Alam mo, naawa ako dyan kay BBM. Ginamit lang siya ni Romualdez eh.
How could Romualdez have had such influence over him when he was one who held the Marcos name?
Yan na nga eh, binoto ng mga tao si Marcos dahil gusto nila Marcos. Yung hindi na pala nila alam, yung magiging hari pala si Romualdez. Di ba?
Ano naging
kaya
hari?
sila talaga disappointed. Because he controlled the purse. Once he controlled the purse and the congressman, yun ang akala niya, that he can be the next president. Siyempre, itong isa, dahil ayaw naman gumawa ng trabaho, so he will leave it to everybody, and well, this is his own blood. This is his first cousin who promised him that, we will build this, we will do that. Oh, this congressman will be, we will control them through their budget. Oh, ngayon control kayo, no? Ayaw nyo palitan si Romualdez? Pues, kala nyo, kung hindi nyo siya pinalitan, hindi gaganti sa inyo si BBM? Oh, sige, congressman kayo. Oh, sige, pasahan nyo budget nyo. Pero hindi ko ipaparelease sa DBM secretary. O ano? Sino presidente?
Mababawi pa ba niya?
Siya o ako? Kung ako BBM ang kakampi mo, kahit you don't like me, but I'm very useful, Kung ako ang kakampi mo, ginawa mo ako contra-advisor. Kumusta ang contra-advisor dyan? Pakinggan natin yung Guanzon na yan kung sasabi ng baliw na yan. At baka may sense. Di ba? Yung asawa, mas may sense kasi abogada yan eh. Kasi sabi niya si Lisa, ganyan-ganyan. Sabi ko, okay na lang naman dyan si Lisa Araneta. Why? Kaya abogada. Kung hindi pa yan abogada, asawa niya, ano lang kaya ang tsura nitong administrasyon ni BBM?
Ngayon naman ang tanong ko, wala bang kasalanan ng taong bayan dahil sila rin ang boto raw sa mga politikong yan?
True. They are party to be blamed. But who has the power should be blamed. The one who has the power should be the one who has to take the blame. Sila ang may power eh. Kaya sila namili. Kung hindi sila namili, hindi naman tatanggap ang mga tao.
Namili ng boto, you
Oh
mean?
yeah. Oh. Sila ang may power eh.
Sige.
Oh.
Ikaw, nagsilbi ka sa COMELEC. Ang tagal.
Before
diba?
that, COA commissioner na ako.
Exactly.
I have a degree in economics, which people, they don't know.
Don't know. Right.
They don't know kasi kala nila aktivista ako, political science ako. I have a degree in economics,
Yes.
no?
Yeah.
Kaya lang, hindi nyo ako nakikita nun sa UP kasi lagi lang naman ako sa kalye.
Kami ang boses ng masa, hindi natatakot. Katotohanan lang, di kami nalulunod. Walang bahid ng sismis, lahat ay totoo. Kahit sino ka pa, pag mali ka babanatan ka. Walang pinipili kulay, wala kaming kinikilingan. Basta para sa bayan, kami lalaban. Pagdama palakpakan, pag mali banatan, di matitinag, di matatakot. Para sa bayan, tuloy ang sigaw. Sa harap ng kamera, walang halong takot. Mga baluktot, lahat kayo'y tutumba. Ang hustisya at totoo, yun lang ang mahalaga. Kahit sinong harang, di kami matitinag. Walang Pilipino